The Washington Post has a new story about the NSA out, and at this point, it's official. We've gone right down the slippery slope that all the civil libertarians and liberals warned us about. They report here, a while back we noted a report showing that the sneak and peek provision of the Patriot Act that was alleged to be used only in national security and terrorism investigations has overwhelmingly been used in narcotics cases. Now the New York Times reports that NSA data will be shared with other intelligence agencies like the FBI without first applying any screens for privacy. Domestic law enforcement officials now have access to huge troves of American communications obtained without warrants that they can use to put people in cages. Okay, so let's stop and think about this. The Patriot Act, of course, was implemented after 9/11. They did it under the guise of, oh my God, we have to do it, we have no choice. Sacrifice your liberty for security. I seem to remember people in the past speaking about that and how that's not a good thing, but I digress from that. So they say, we got to do it, what do you mean? We got to take away your constitutional rights because be afraid. Fear. Scary Muslim extremists, ooh, give us all your rights. So they put the Patriot Act into place. Fourth Amendment goes bye-bye. Eighth Amendment goes bye-bye. Due process, habeas corpus, see you later. Forget it. So rips up the Constitution, throws it in the garbage. Now, at the time, the provision of the Patriot Act that they now use to justify this, it was an open question as to whether or not it could be used to look at library records. Like, that was a big question when they first passed, like, ooh, I don't know. I think it's Section 215 of the Patriot Act where they're like, ooh, I don't know, man. That seems like it's an infringement upon Fourth Amendment rights if you look at somebody's library records. So they decided, well, I guess it is used for library records. And then from there, we went right down the slippery slope. It went from, well, this allows us to look at library records to, well, this allows us to look at phone calls. Well, this allows us to look at emails. Well, this allows us to get all your metadata and look at everything that you've ever done ever. So that's where we are today. Now, if only we had, I don't know, maybe the person who wrote that section of the Patriot Act around today, they could tell us whether or not this indeed was the intention to allow Section 215 to spy on everything and collect everybody's metadata. Oh, that guy is around. His name is Representative James Sensenbrenner, and he says, no, I did not write this with the idea in mind that you can take everybody's information, everybody's metadata, and spy on all Americans. That is insane. That is not what I wanted. But the government's like, we kind of disagree. So www.shutthefuckup.com. So again, this is where we're at now. At first, they said they promised. Again, this shows you what a government promise is worth on issues like this. They're like, well, I mean, look, we're going to be straight shooters with you guys. The only reason why we have this stuff in place is to prevent terrorist attacks. And we're only using the information we collect to protect the homeland. And it's only for national security and terrorism incidents. That's the only reason why we're taking all this stuff. And then little time goes by, move the goalposts a little bit. Suddenly, we get, news about how, well, it's mostly used for national security and terrorist stuff, but sometimes behind the scenes, the DEA asks for some information without a warrant, and the NSA gives them the information, but it's only to crack down on big cartel, drug cartel problems where we really got to crack down on them. So whatever, forget constitutional rights because, whatever, it's convenient to just not abide by them. So sure, we violate it sometimes when it comes to big drug incidents, and then we learned, well, it's not really big drug incidents, it's just drug incidents, and now we learn today, they're like, yeah, we're going to stop pretending now. We take your information and we use it against you in cases for anything. Anything. Now, the whole idea that civil libertarians and, liberals are arguing for here is all we want is the Constitution to be upheld. That's all we're arguing for. So nobody on the planet is against, if you go to a judge, get a warrant, and try to get information, yeah, we're all fine with that. There's oftentimes this straw man of civil libertarians and liberals like, well, they don't even want it if somebody gets a warrant, they don't even want people to look at their privacy. That's not true. That's nowhere near true. No civil libertarian or liberal ever said, even if you get a warrant, fuck off. You can't look at somebody's information. Of course you can. Of course you can. But that's not even the debate we're having. What we have right now is they have everything. They take everything and they can look at it without a fucking warrant. Go read the Fourth Amendment. You tell me, what it is to take away from the Fourth Amendment. I said it before, I'll say it again. It's almost like the founders had a fucking crystal ball on this issue, and they can foresee technology like this, and they're warning, still allow people to have a right to privacy. Don't take all their shit. Don't spy without a warrant. You need a specific warrant naming the specific things to be searched and or seized. And they're like, yeah, disregard that because, hey, it's inconvenient for the police state to have hurdles to get over and checks and balances. So don't worry about warrants. Don't worry about the Constitution. Don't worry about the Fourth Amendment. Give me all the information, and I'm going to use it against you without getting a warrant. Well, your privacy is just dead. It's dead. You have no privacy anymore. Everything you've ever said via communication, whether it's on your phone, whether it's on your computer, whatever, it's all stored somewhere. The NSA has it all stored somewhere. There was a huge facility they built in Utah, which was gigantic, and it cost a ridiculous amount of money. They're storing all the metadata, all your communications, all everything. This is 1984 come to life. You have no more rights, and this is an Orwellian state. They tell you they're protecting liberty as they literally take away your liberty. If you're not concerned about this, you're just clueless on political issues, and you're clueless about your rights. And, you have the old canard in your mind of, well, if I'm not doing anything wrong, I guess why not give them all of my private and personal information? Well, forgive me for saying I'm not willing to lay down on my rights that quickly. This is something we have to fight back against. And again, just to bring this full circle real quick and throw something in here at the end, this is one of the many reasons why Edward Snowden is a hero. Because Edward Snowden was standing up for the Constitution and the Fourth Amendment and your rights as he's maligned by the establishment as being un-American. Un-American. He's acting the most American. The government's acting un-American. But he's smeared and maligned, and now he's off somewhere in Russia because he can't come back to his home because he did the right thing for his country.